What is going on, my YouTube friends, my Patreon friends, my audio enthusiast friends? We've done a couple of these videos now. I got a little series planned. I've just been working really hard at making sure that I know what the hell I'm talking about before I get into them. So those of y'all that have been following the channel for a while, or internet friends of mine for a while, you know that I've been a live audio technician going into my 19th year this year. And I want to kind of try to help where I can when it comes to live gigging. Now, in the market that I am in, where I live, it's kind of in the small to medium size. Like a lot of the venues we do is like anywhere from say 90 people to 500 in that kind of area. With bands like Freeze the Fall when we travel, sometimes we play bigger rooms than that. But a lot of what I work on and a lot of what I think I see folks that follow the channel working on are, in that 100 to 500 range. So that's kind of the angle that I'm taking. So today we're going to talk about some of the items that I bring to all of the shows. I actually I've emptied my backpack that comes with me to every show. Now, it's in no particular order. Like one isn't more important than the next. You can kind of decide that based on your situation. But I'll go through what comes along with me in my backpack and why I pack them for every show that we do. Without further ado, let's get started. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I said that they were in no particular order, but let's be real. This is probably the most important for like every gig ever. Fresh socks, y'all. Fresh socks. Don't get the cheap socks. Buy yourself some nice socks. You and your feet deserve it. And bring an extra pair to the gig. After sound check, once everything's good, switch out your socks. I know, like, if y'all are like me, I wear boots. Like either steel toes if I'm local. I don't know if you can fly with steel toes. So I just bring like something that's got like a 6-inch, I don't know, like height to it, I guess, covers my ankle, like leather boot, usually walking around boot, to my like travel gigs. But this is something that I've done, and I encourage all the techs and like engineers that I work with, always bring extra socks, bro. Like always, always, always. It's like a fresh glass of coffee when you're done after sound check. I swear to God, it'll like fix a lot of things. It'll just like boost your mood. It feels great. It's like relaxing, and it's just like a nice moment to just sit back and breathe. I know I'm making socks sound like a lot more philosophical than it needs to be, but I'm not kidding you, bro. Like I picked this up when I was like 14. My mentor got me wearing fresh socks after sound check, and I swear to God, it is a game changer, y'all. And like, don't cheap out on your socks. Don't buy like cheap, whatever, 12 pairs of socks in like a $5 bag. Like, don't do that to yourself. Buy something that actually fits your foot. Like, when I see the sizing, it's like size 6 to 12. Like, what BS, bro? Absolute BS. These socks, I'm a size like 10, 10 and a half, depending on the boot. They're size 10 to 12. Like, that's it. That's it. Like, do yourself the favor. You deserve it. You and your feet deserve it. I promise. I promise. Keeping in the vein of like apparel and stuff like that, I always have gloves with me. Always, always, always have gloves. I find that like, especially if I'm doing a lot of road case moving, like if we're setting up the whole production, lighting, trussing, speakers, sometimes motors, if we're like lifting anything in the air, in a 100 to 500 person venue, you're probably not flying anything. But nonetheless, nice pair of gloves, as tight as you can get your hand into is kind of the secret that I found, especially if you are working in cold environments. If you're trying to pull apart like truss or anything, you want to be able to like feel where like the nut is, and you can like unscrew it, the nut and the bolt, or any of the pins or anything. Like it's handy. So like I don't know, we have a Red Wing in town. I love Red Wing. Like they're the boots that I buy too. But yeah, nice set of gloves. Always, always, always in the bag. Always in the bag. Mag light, definitely always a mag light. Like I carry this thing with me. Like when it's show day, it goes in my pocket and it stays on my person until the show is over. It's just like super handy. You want something small that you can hold in your mouth if you're doing something with your hands, right? So like say it's intro time and a pedal board is like dying and you're trying to fix it. You don't want to be like trying to shine a flashlight and try to find where the input is, or maybe you're like in the back of like a doghouse of a console. It's just like you can just like, oh, here. Oh, all right, my hands are free. See how my hands are free? That is invaluable. And I have seen lots of folks with like the chest straps or the head straps and the lamps and stuff. Sure, go ahead. Go ahead. I have no problem with that at all. It's just not for me. It's just not for me. And I just like having this in my pocket. So yeah, definitely get yourself a little mag light. I would probably initial it, like engrave it. I haven't done that for this one yet, but this is just like, I don't know. It was a cheap one. I think I actually accidentally sniped this from a show somewhere. But nonetheless, you should probably put like a piece of tape on it, something to identify it. So like if you leave it on a desk or something, you're like, oh shit, that's mine. But definitely grab a mag light. Definitely have a mag light. So this is something a little bit unique to what I've been doing. I don't see a lot of people doing this, but I don't really understand why. I travel with my own overheads. So this is a matched pair of UA, the SP1s. They are modeling mics. So like we do a lot of multi-tracking from live shows, and I can actually change the capsule on this. And I just find I don't really have to very often. They kind of sound nice as they are, and that's why I bought them. I bought them used. I got a really good deal on them, so like it was hard to complain. But I take these with me everywhere. Now I don't use them everywhere, but I always have them, and they have come in handy. Like we did an opening slot show with Freeze the Fall, where the mic drawer, I guess, was or the mic locker was basically spent. Like we just got what was left over, and so I prepped myself to have these ready. They ended up finding 2 pencil condensers that were actually quite nice. I think they were like Sennheisers or something. So we just rolled with those. But I always bring my own, and they have saved our bacon a few times. I'm also the kind of guy, and like this will depend on your mixing style and like your approach. I over mic drums. Like I'll put up more mics than I might end up using. Like it happens often, right? Like where the snare drum's loud enough or that cymbals, like you might not even need overheads all the time. But if you do multi-tracking like we do, you want them for the playback, right? And it does become a big part of my drum tone, right? So I'm a big believer in like I'll keep it short. I put all my vocals into like a group, and then that group is controlled by a VCA, right, or DCA. The DCA is just volume up and down. So during like a no vocal part, I'll turn the vocals down, but I don't turn them down all the way because I find that those are like almost like room mics. They do become a part of the drum tones that you're getting. And then this is like a nice happy replacement for that. So if we're going to a breakdown or something that's like drum like toms and snare heavy, I'll actually push these up quite a bit, and then when we go back into like the crashing rides, depending on the room, I'll bring them out, like I'll pull them out. But knowing the microphone is really important, so that's why I wanted to have my own. I like the way that they capture a drum kit. Like they give you a really nice picture of the drum kit. I'll play y'all an example after I'm done rambling about this, and you can just hear what they sound like from a show I did on Valentine's Day. And yeah, like it's just handy. I know what they sound like. I know how to process them. I know what they're gonna give me in the end, and I don't have to rely on whatever they might be throwing at me, because again, it is kind of slept on. Like you see so many folks have nice like kick mics, snare mic, toms mics, and then they have like crappy cheap overheads. So now I have my own cheap overheads that I trust. Okay, so here we are. Put on my handy headphones that I had handy, and I just pulled up the stems from a cover band that I mixed this weekend. So this is overhead left, overhead right with no processing on it. And let's see. So I can zoom in. I added the snare drum ins just so you can see they're in phase. So you can see that they're obviously not time aligned. Like if we wanted to time align it, which some people do, it would sit about there. But you can see they're in phase. So the initial transient starts low, and the actual peak of the strike goes up, right? So here are those SP mics with no processing on. And I don't want to play too much just so the cover song doesn't, because you can kind of hear the vocals in it. But anyways. So yeah, so it's a pretty good image of the kit. Nice and punchy sounding. Here's like the roll section. If I mix in the snare. Nice and snappy, and there's no processing on there. That's just a Beta 57 on the snare top, and then just those SP mics. So once again, I'm just going to play it. Let's just play it from a different section. So yeah, pretty straightforward. With the overheads comes the most technical part of the show, the most high-tech, complicated piece of equipment that I bring to a gig. And my friend Old Man Yenny helped me with these. He calibrated these specifically for me. I have 3 that I run around. Oh, that's a lie. I gave one to Todd Kearns. I have 2 left that I run around with. One is on my person in my pocket. The other one is my backpack for spare. And it is this right here. It's just a bootlace. and it coils up nicely in my hand. Don't ever do this with your cables, but this is it. And this is exactly 40 inches. And what it does, and you can experiment with this, like typically to keep things in phase, between 40 to 48 inches from the snare drum. I measure each overhead. So these mics that I was just showing you, my SB1s, up on booms above the drum kit. That's what I do. That's what I do. And I just put one of these on the top head of the snare in the middle, and I just measure out to the first one, to the second one, make sure they're like equidistant. Is that what the word is? And that makes sure that like if you're panning hard left and right, or if you're matching your panning, it makes sure that the snare is still in the center image, right? Keeps things in phase, and yeah, you'll be a happy camper. You'll be a happy camper. I got really tired of measuring overheads using like an XLR and trying to like remember where it was, and like then you're fiddling with a boom stand and you're trying to make sure you still have the, yeah, it just became too much. So our friend Old Man Yenny hacked me up 2 of these. He actually got me a wicked case for them. Got me this guy too. This is Raking It In. And so one of them lives in here all the time. The other one lives in my backpack. And that's how I measure my overheads for 100% of the gigs that I go to. So the next one is like pretty obvious, and like a lot of technicians run around with these. A lot of venues, like if you're a tour tech, or if you do any like fly-in shows, like I've been doing recently, a lot of venues will have headphones like at front of house. But I do like to bring my own, and these are just cheapies, bro. These are HD 280s, the Sennheiser ones, HD 280 Pro. I've used them for a long time. This pair is new. I bought these in Toronto for the East or North by Northeast Festival when we were out there. They were just on sale, so I grabbed them. But I've had this same model of headphones for like as long as I can remember. They isolate nice. They're clear enough. They don't have like a ton of low end information. So sure, like you audiophiles out there, they might not be the best for like just sitting at home and vibing. But for like checking an input, soloing up an input, checking a mix, checking like anything, a microphone, anything, they work pretty good. I like them. I always have them on me. Obviously, the 1/4 inch adapter on them, they do drop down to 1/8 inch, whatever that is, the headphone size. But I just leave that guy on there. Don't worry about it being gold or not. You're never going to notice the difference. Yeah, handy to have a set of headphones that you trust and that you know, and that you know both sides work. Because I have pulled up at some gigs where both sides do not work, and so that's partially why I bring my own. Alongside the headphones, I do find myself using my in-ears a lot for that as well, especially if we're in a loud room. Like if SBLs are just like ripping my ears off, I will put these in and I'll just like let them be just kind of noise canceling. I don't put them in like as if I was trying to actually like monitor something, but I do put them in to like just like protect my hearing a little bit. Excuse me. And they've come in handy for more than one reason. So Westone was kind enough to partner with the channel, and they did send me a pair of the Mach 40s. I love them. I absolutely adore them, especially for like things like vocals and guitar. I find that they work really well. I'm not going to turn this into a whole ad, but I do have to let y'all know that they do sponsor the channel. So, but they've actually come in handy where a singer's in-ears will go down or die or break or something like at sound check, and I just go, hey, like I got a pair I can lend you, right? So I've done that multiple times with a few bands, and it's a really cool feeling to be able to help out with something like so important as an in-ear, right? But they do come in handy for other things. If I am too lazy to bring out my HDs, like the Sennheiser headphones I was just showing y'all, I'll just have these with me, and I'll just like use it for solo, because like a lot of the time I'm not tone checking through my headphones through like PFL or AFL. I'm looking for a problem, right? So like if the kick drum sounds like crackly or something, I want to see if it's kick in or kick out. If the snare drum is just being weird, is it snare top or snare bottom or snare side? Been experimenting with snare side. So you just solo it up, and like this is a pretty quick and easy way to just like do that, right? So not very bulky, obviously. They're just in-ears, and these ones in particular I absolutely adore. So that is also something that's in my bag all the time, more often than the HDs actually. I will always have these at the show. 9 times out of 10, I'll have those at the show as well. And the last thing that comes with me to 100% of the shows is usually my laptop. I'm not taking it to a festival this weekend because it's going to be cold and it's outdoors and it's nuts. But I usually have my laptop, which is a Mac Air with the M2 chip. And it also has like the adapter to go from the 2 Type-Cs to like the USB like 3.0 sizing or whatever, and like a few other things. So I bring my own cables to pair up to the console. So most digital consoles, for venues or production companies that are like worth their salt. They have a router in them, and so you can tag into them with like an iPad or anything. I don't always trust the Wi-Fi. Just like if I'm walking around, it makes sense. Like with a tablet, if I'm checking things and I'm walking around, it makes sense to use the Wi-Fi. But if I'm like taking up home base and I have the computer at like on a doghouse or on a table beside the console, I'm just patching in with Ethernet. So I have a little Ethernet. I actually stole this from Craig from Freeze the Fall. So thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. And I have a USB cable. So this is I can never remember what is what, like A to B or something like that. It's like this, that size there, that shape there, the rectangular shape. So that would go into the console and then the other end into my laptop. And that's how we get our multi-tracks. And I try to multi-track 100% of our shows, depending on hardware space. Sometimes I'll just do, say, sound check. Sometimes I'll just multi-track sound check. And then like if we're in like a hurry or if tensions are high or anything like that, I can always continue sound check while the band is done. So you can just play back through the console channel for channel. So like, I recorded your kick drum, both kick drum mics in sound check. I can play that back down my kick drum channels and I can make adjustments as I go along. Right. So an instance of that, we had a fundraiser that we were mixing at a house venue that we have a contract at. And there was 5 bands sound checking and the one band had to get back to work. So the band before them went a little long. These guys just wanted to get up and do a quick monitor check. I multi-track recorded it. And as they were walking out the door, I'm playing the sound check back through the mains and I'm touching up a few things there. Right. So super handy piece of wire to bring with you. It takes up no room. Like I have like my setup in here in my office that stays here all the time. And then I have one in my backpack that's just always in there. And like aside from gig days, that's the first time that's come out of the bag for any other reason. Like it just stays in there, right? And that way you always know that you have it. It's something that you trust. Like you'd hate to pull up to a venue, especially if you're like doing the tour tech thing. You pull up to a venue, you ask if they have USB, they say yes, it craps out, it's broken, it's frayed, it's whatever. Like that sucks, right? So I always just use my own. Like I'll plug it in myself. I'll plug theirs back in at the end. That's the important thing, right? And for the amount of space that it takes up, it's always worth it. Always worth it. So yeah, aside from like, your standards, like showing up to the gig, wearing regular clothes, probably your blacks if you're on any like tour shows or anything like that, or if you're doing any like stage handwork, anything like that, you're going to want to make sure that you're following or being compliant to the venue or to the performers needs or wants or anything on their rider. Water is usually like around, right? Like stuff like that. I thought I would do like, the stuff that I use that comes in handy and saves my bacon at all my gigs, bro, all my gigs. So I thought I would make this video and I hope y'all enjoyed. Let me know if there's anything else that y'all put in your bags or in your packs when you're off to the gig. I'd love to know what's going on. I know some people travel with like extra strings. I've heard rumors of people traveling like with a lighter just in case like road crew needs a smoke or something and they don't have one. You know what I mean? All that shit's great. That's cool. I'd love to hear what you're bringing with you. I'd love to know if you're going to add any of these to your bag. Let me know. And that's it for this one. See you on the next one.